For those of you who are wondering, yes, I'm only reviewing this anime because I do an anime spoiler review with my friend the Unknown Knight. Link to his channel in the description below. But needless to say, this also means I must do a non-spoiler. Let's get this kidney stone passed. Cue title scene. Sekirei is a 2008 harem action comedy, sort of sci-fi, kind of fantasy rom-com thing that, came out a while back, and I'd never heard of it, and was told going into this, be warned, there's fan service, there's a lot of silliness, and it ends on a cliffhanger. Well, I can honestly say both those things are true. And as you could probably tell by this opening, they don't make this series watchable at all. First up, let's start with the story, what little it has to do with the actual plot. Basically, the way it works is that you've got our main character, his name is Minato, and basically he's a 2-year college dropout. I'm not really sure how that works in Japan, but essentially he was trying to go to college, couldn't, he's just sort of living his life, very shy, very nervous. We're seeing that a lot lately, but as far as this series goes, I actually thought it developed that and showed that very nicely. He was dorky and a loner, but he wasn't really goofy about it. He just felt like a very natural person, sort of lost in life, stuck in the middle, not sure where to go, not sure what to do. And ironically, they convey that very well in the first 10 minutes of this. Then, in comes our girl, quite literally, smack dab into things. She falls from the sky and whacks him in the head. Our girl in this series' name is Musubi. And Musubi is something called a Sekirei. What's a Sekirei? Good news, you're never going to find out. And essentially, she's looking for something called an Ashikabi, which is her partner or Pokemon trainer or whatever. And basically, once she finds her Ashikabi, the Ashikabi grants her superpowers, or she had the powers originally, or it's never explained. And from there, the goal is to defeat all of the other Sekirei, I think it's like 108, and the winner wins the Sekirei plan. What is the Sekirei plan? No fucking idea. Yeah, as you could probably tell, I don't like this one. I don't like it at all. It develops Minato fairly well, and I will say this, Musubi for most of the series is a very fun, very cute character, but this series has one huge, major problem that causes all the others. It has one joke. One joke and one joke only. Tits. Every 5 minutes there's a fan service scene. Sometimes even less time goes in between the scenes. Again, this series, I'm telling you right now, very mature content. It shows tits. It shows them up in their fashion and all that. And the first time they do it, it actually is funny and works. Look, Musubi is a very cute character, I acknowledge that. But the problem is that it does this constantly, all the time. There's nothing to this series but just leading up to the next scene where we see naked chicks. And again, you're all probably saying, oh, Kevin, you should enjoy this. You're a hot-blooded male. Yeah, I like women. I don't mind a little fan service here and there. But this thing has nothing to it than that. It's in your face. It's all over the place. It's the focus of every goddamn scene. Even scenes where they're not naked, all they're focusing on is their tits and their panties and their ass, and it just makes this convoluted mess into a boring, generic piece of shit. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it. I hated this thing. And it didn't have to be this way. Like I said, it started out nice. You could have had a couple tits every now and again. I thought they were going in nice directions, implementing his family. The villain seemed fun. But there's nothing to this show at all. And part of the problem is that it turns into this harem where we just introduce girl after girl after girl. There's 6 by the end of this. And each one is less interesting than the last because their personalities get dumber and dumber each time, culminating in the 4th one, this chick Tsuyumi, a big busty blonde, has water powers, and I admit some of the animation there is cool. But the thing is she has got to be one of the most horrible cutbags I have ever seen in anything. She's selfish. She's violent. She spends the first part of this series, this angry lunatic, just running around attacking people for some weird reason, speaking in Old English, just being this terrible person or alien or whatever the heck these things are. And then Minato makes her a Sekirei also. Yeah, because get this, they can have multiple Sekireis. I'll get to that in a second. But once she becomes a Sekirei, she's nothing but this needy, rude bitch who just does nothing but whine and complain. Bella from Twilight is now more bearable because I watched this. And again, just all the time. And as I said, there's multiple Sekireis. And again, that doesn't work. Why? Because it doesn't make any sense. The whole point is that a Sekirei is to find their Ashikabi, and then they fight the other Sekireis to win. I said that. And the thing is that if multiple Sekireis can have one Ashikabi, then they're supposed to be like a team, and the winner goes with their Ashikabi. The Sekirei, I guess, would fight each other on the same team, but they're all supposed to serve their Ashikabi. So what if he says no? It just makes no sense. And some people can say, oh, it's not trying to make sense. It's meant to be funny. It's meant to be kind of cute and charming, and give you a boner. Well, here's what I would respond to that. It is one thing for a series to not take itself too seriously. Kill la Kill didn't take itself too seriously because that was a comedy. Soul Eater is another one. To a lesser extent, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. But there is a difference between not taking yourself too seriously and just not giving a crap. You always need to have some sense of passion illustrated in your story. Through Kill la Kill, it's through the satire. Through Soul Eater, it's from the insanity. Through Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's the drama and the seriousness and all that stuff. But from this, there's just nothing. It is nothing but throwing tits in your face. It doesn't even answer its plot points. It brings up question after question, and maybe they could be interesting, but they're never answers. There are allusions that are given throughout the series, but nothing is directly answered. And some of you might argue, Kevin, that's because it was hoping for a third season. Yeah, well, guess what? You can't keep having it that every question you pose from episode 1 continues with each season. You in theory need to answer the question, then ask a new one. But all this thing does is pose more and more plot points. Each one is less and less interesting because nothing's getting answered. The story goes nowhere. All it does is just add more chicks and tits and all this stuff, and it just goes on and on and on. It's just so incredibly boring. Every joke is dragged out to the 10th degree. Like, for instance, one is Musubi can carry heavy things. Fine, she's super strong. It's cute the first time, but they drag it out forever. And Musubi is so innocent and stupid. At first it's cute, but by the end you're just like, get a brain! And this whole series just, oh god, it was a pain. I was so thankful when it was over. I don't care if it gets a third season. I don't care what happens. I'm completely indifferent just because if this show doesn't care, why the hell should I? Because you know what? Sekirei is a 3 out of 10 on the harem scale? I don't know. And honestly, I'm just glad to be through with this. And, I don't know, what have you been glad with? Let's do this. In the comment section below, what animes have you seen do you think just over-abuses the audience, just expects way too much of them, and just doesn't try or care? And as always, click to like and click to subscribe, because maybe next review I can talk about something happy.